Welcome to the Stone Cottage. Today is February the 2nd, Ground Hog Day. I doubt I'll find a groundhog poking his head out of the ground. But if there were one, he wouldn't see his shadow, which means we're not going to have winter that much longer, right? Well, my plants are kind of telling a similar story. Now, I have a daughter who lives in the Bay Area, and every February she sends us pictures of her daffodils getting ready to bloom in February. So this is for Ellen, my daughter Ellen. Now, right here, let me see if I can get close enough. These are the little snowdrops and the little white tips. This is one of my earliest bloomers, and it's getting ready to bloom. Here's another cluster, and you can kind of see the little white buds. We're getting close. Back behind it are some daffodils. You can see those poking up. I do not have any buds yet. One of my neighbors that has a yard that gets a lot more sun than mine does, and she is already beginning to have some daffodil buds on her daffodils. This is the flower bed that I replanted in the late summer last year, and you can see there are a lot of bulbs coming up, but there also are the foxglove. These plants of the foxgloves looks like somebody's been nibbling on them a little bit, but I see 3 foxglove plants here and another 4 or 5 of them back over by the walkway. And hopefully we'll have some bulbs. There are irises that are kind of sticking up. I don't know that they'll bloom again this year. I planted them awfully late, so I doubt we'll get blooms, but maybe another year. Here is my azalea, and you can begin to see the buds forming. I love going through and seeing the buds even before they bloom. Here are a bunch more of those foxglove. I'm most excited. I planted foxglove throughout the yard in hopes that it would reseed naturally, and it seems to be really enjoying this spot. The plants have done really well. I guess it's kind of protected a little bit. We'll see. The reason I did it in several different places was to see where it would actually take. And I'm feeling really optimistic about this spot, which would be wonderful right by the front of my house. I planted a lot of allium, a lot of new allium in here. I had some allium over in here that did not come up again. I planted it before and did not come up as well. I'm beginning to see some daffodils coming up. I planted some of those. So we'll see what comes up. I got a bunch of bulbs, if you recall, in the fall from Color Blends, and we'll see how they do. I also planted some tulips. These are supposed to be the tulips that come back year after year, so I'm most excited to see how that does. Okay, walking towards the back, those are my chrysanthemums. I just, they don't die back here. They actually survive the winter, and so I just cut back the yucky parts and let the new little plants come out. This is a butterfly bush. He's still got some leaves on him. Now I am most excited about this. This is my edgeworthia, also known as Chinese paper bush. And the first year we lived in the house, so that would have been 2016, I think I had 3 little blossoms on it. And I counted them up to this week. Every year I've counted, it's like 10, 20, 30. This year we are up to over 70 of these wonderful blooms. Let's see if I can get that to, they kind of flop down, but they are so beautiful. I'll insert a picture in here of what they look like when they bloom. They're just beautiful. Ooh, look at this one. He actually has some yellow on him. We've had some really warm days. That's actually starting to blossom. Look, there's another one there. So take that, Ellen, in your California weather. I'm starting to get some flowers on this. Now, here is a bush that's not doing a whole lot right now, but that's the forsythia, and both the forsythia and the edgeworthia will have yellow blossoms before they have any leaves. So that's this year. I'm telling you, I'm going to cut this thing back. I'm going to be brutal and cut it back after it blooms, but now's not the time. More bulbs coming up. This was forsythia here. Again, I am going to hack this thing down brutally. And then there's a great big old branch in there. Need to work on cleaning things out. These are the, I think caramel was the name. They are a coral bells, a hooka, from Jackson and Perkins. Really like the pretty color of the leaf. The back of the leaf is all pretty. I ordered 3 of those. 2 of them look wonderful. The third one is a little meh, not looking all that exciting. But I had also transplanted some other heucheras that I had got in from Home Depot. They came in a pot, 3 of them kind of crammed in together, if you remember. I am not seeing hide nor hair of those, so those might not have survived. But also I'm seeing what those leaves are going to be is the Maguey de Bois, the what do you call those? Can't remember what they're called except in French, but the classic Mayday flower, but ours blooms in April. Look. Ellen, look at that. There is a bud on that daffodil. So I'm getting there. And I also planted some foxglove here. There is a foxglove there that looks like it's made it through the winter. There are a couple of others there. They don't look quite as happy as that guy does, but they're still alive. Like, there are 3 more that are kind of pitiful looking. But we'll see if the foxglove here, like I said, all over the place to see where they would be happiest. There's my little one-eared deer with a broken ear. And this, let's see if I can, this is the flowering quince, and it's starting to put out some leaves, and you can see the little floral buds starting to occur. This does bloom quite early, and it will be a pretty pink color. Oh. Here's his next door neighbor. The very same kind of thing. Spring is on the way. Now this is where I've done foxglove in the past, and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm seeing half a dozen foxglove in there, and also some daffodils. This has an assortment of daffodils that bloom in succession, different varieties that bloom in succession. So I'm quite excited about that. Always excited for spring. Yeah, more little daffodils poking up. Got all kinds of daffodils poking up all around. And hopefully this weather doesn't get this guy. This is a hydrangea. And I hope it's not coming so early. We are going to have a light freeze next week, but hopefully it won't kill the flowers. I have a hard time getting flowers on this one, and it may be because the tips come out too early. My other hydrangeas are not putting out buds yet. I still have spots that need to be cleaned up. You can see a lot of leaves back there. I have to get back in there and clean that up. They're the tassel ferns that look pretty all winter, and I'm thinking I'm going to get more of the tassel ferns because they just look so pretty all year long. And again, more forsythia. You might as well bloom big, buddy, because I'm coming for you. And you're going to be chopped down. We'll see what we can do with that. There's my holly pop, as one of my viewers christened that, a holly bush that I've turned into a lollipop. Now, this is a Linton Rose that last year bloomed quite nicely. I thought it had completely died, and it's coming back. It's a little bit later, but that is a blossom. And I'm going to show you the Linton Rose on the side of the house, which is blooming already, but this one's surviving, which I'm really glad to see that, even if it's late blooming. And once those start to bloom, I will have blooms clear into spring in front of the storage shed. That's what I'm talking about with the tassel fern. There are autumn ferns and tassel ferns that always look really nice, but here we are, February the 2nd, and it's absolutely beautiful. Up at the back of the house, this is the older tassel fern that, again, still just looks beautiful all winter long. And here, this is one of my earlier blooming azalea bushes. And again, you can see, hold still, come on, focus, there you go. So this is going to have buds all over it. It's kind of a small one because it's a shady spot, but it does bloom faithfully. Now up above me, this is my Chamelia. It's covered with blooms and beautiful pink blooms that I just love. Now here we are on the far side of the house. Tassel fern, daffodils that never bloom but come up. That pink, that is another one of the Linton Rose. And beautiful, beautiful flower. Another fern. I do like the ferns back in here. We need to clean up. It's like, here are some lovely cinder blocks for you. And here is, my goodness, those are just the most excited berries. This is the false bamboo, the Nandina. Here's the Nandina, and it is blooming like crazy on this side. This must be just the perfect exposure for it. Check out these berries, they're just covered with it. And here is the Linton Rose that's going crazy. So we have them in pinks, and we have another one in a white color. These are just looking beautiful this year. And this is not a side where we walk a great deal, but you know, the goal is to make this a prettier area. Unfortunately, we do have some drainage issues on this side, so I am reluctant to commit to anything until my husband takes care of his drainage issue that he wants to. Me, I would just ignore it and say, we'll mop up the water if we get water in the house. He's not like that. He's like, no, you don't want water in your house. Like, okay. Anyway, so he's going to put some drainage in here, do a French drain along this side, and who knows when he'll be finished, but he knows not to get in the way of my plants, you know. It's another Linton Rose. You can see that, yeah, okay, there you're focusing. That's going to be his flowers. He's a little bit behind the others, but he will definitely be blooming. And this is an autumn fern back here. Now, again, this was the new bed that I did. Totally dug out the bed, removed all of the ivy, and redid this bed also in the front yard. And he got a lot of bulbs, so we'll see what comes up. Now, I was concerned that these might have gotten damaged in all of our digging, but there they are. Those are the hyacinths that are coming back, and they should be fine. I'm excited to see how this particular bed does this year with all the new plants that I've planted in here. Anyway, so a quick tour around the garden. You thought I was just doing food this month. I'm not. You can't keep me out of the garden. And the weather's about 50 degrees out here today, but that's not so bad. I can be outside in a sweater. Thanks for joining us at the Stone Cottage, and we will see you again.